so-called juices. So one thing we want to make clear here is we're not asking you to stop your solid foods and stop whole foods and veggies and shift to a liquid diet. Absolutely not. Okay. Nothing that compares to whole foods. But yes, the juices we get in the market today, if you see 99% of them, I can say, if you know any, you can let me know, are fully, laden with high sugar and acidity regulators, preservatives, and all sorts of things, right? So how can we incorporate some healthy juices into our diet? Okay, something that will be good, taste good, at the same time benefit us nutritionally. So I shall just share screen. In fact, I've just shared the presentation via WhatsApp with Sheldon, and he will share it across with you all. Okay, so yes. Okay, can you all see the screen?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. So that's an interesting topic. Okay, sipping on sunshine. So as we grow older, okay, again, credit for the topic goes to Sheldon. It was quite a catchy one. Okay, so we'll also have a sunshine drink at the end, which is a takeaway message for y'all. Okay, that y'all can try out and then let me know. So obviously, as we grow older, okay, it becomes so important that we take care of our health, minimize risk of issues, and a lot of this has got to do with our immunity, okay, our immune system. So what happens is, as we grow older, obviously our immune system also gets slower to respond, and the chances of falling ill tend to be higher, right? So the whole aim for seniors is to boost up their immune system, and that is including a lot of antioxidants, okay, fruits, vegetables, nuts to strengthen the immunity. So what are some of the best juices? We will discuss this as an interactive session. I just want to go through the presentation first so that you all are aware of what are the juices we're talking about. Okay, so one is a green mixed juice, which consists of cucumber, you can put green apple, celery, and more. Now, there's a very important point I want to bring up here. When it comes to juices, okay, you must have heard and you've always been taught and told about, avoid, fruit juices, going for whole fruit, correct? Now, why is this mentioned? Because obviously, if you take an apple, okay, or an orange, if we blend it up, what we tend to do is we blend and strain and extract the juice, right? But what happens in that process of blending and straining, all the fiber is out. So much of the nutrients are out. So whenever you want to prepare a smoothie, you want to prepare, a fruit juice, you want to prepare a vegetable juice, any of these juices, see that you do not strain the juice, okay? Because if you strain the juice, all your fiber and nourishment is out. So much so that in the market now you get these cold pressed juice mixers and whatnot. Basically, they say blending is better than juicing, because with juicing, we just extract the juice. With blending, we're actually pureeing it. Okay, so if you add cucumber, green apple, celery, you can have a green juice, okay, which is obviously antioxidant rich. Can anyone tell me what are these antioxidants that we keep talking about?
Nina, I'm sorry to disturb you. Nina, can you come? Sorry, can you remove the presentation
yes.
after the introduction? Not just suggestion.
Yes. Yeah, it's
getting, let them be more interactive here. Because anyway, we'll share it with you. Yeah.
Get the screen. I mean, the PowerPoint off, you mean?
Yeah, PowerPoint off. Yeah. Let them have you. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what I want to know is, in terms of these so-called antioxidants that we're talking about, can anyone tell me what are these antioxidants? Yeah?
Detoxification.
Sorry?
Detoxification.
Detoxification, okay. But antioxidants, like you say, they say fruits are rich in antioxidants, vegetables are rich in antioxidants. What are these so-called antioxidants?
I will never ask you anymore.
Okay.
This is my last.
Okay, don't ask.
Okay, have you heard of free radicals? Okay, so I'll educate you all a little on this. So free radicals are basically, the bad ones produced in our body.
Put everything on WhatsApp.
Yeah, so if, for example, if anyone falls sick, okay, if somebody's blood sugar if somebody has sort of an illness, okay, there are free radicals that are produced in the body.
Are we on the?
Want to say?
Sorry, any doubts? Okay, so if somebody is, eating junk foods, if somebody has been having gut-related issues, all of these produce free radicals. So these antioxidants, okay, they fight the free radicals and protect our bodies. And that's why they say for senior citizens, antioxidants are so important. Okay, so whether it's from fruits, from vegetables, from nuts, from seeds, all of these are very important. Okay, so when we said it comes to green juices, you can incorporate. So don't worry, like Sheldon said, you will get the presentation. You will see the different types of juices. Okay, so we'll have this interactive. So can anyone tell me which is the green juice? The items that I mentioned?
Celery, green apple,
Celery.
cucumber.
Kiwi.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely right. Okay, so you can incorporate any of these, puree it up, and you can get a nice green juice. Okay, another juice that is also yummy and healthy is orange juice. How do you all make orange juice? Can anyone tell me? How do you make?
You remove the orange.
Squeeze the juice.
No, in the orange juice.
There's a little chef talking. Okay, so basically, when it comes to oranges, okay, we extract the juice. But remember, like I said, when you juice, okay, juicing, like if, for example, you put the orange through a juice or the lime juice, okay, you extract all the fiber out, it is of no use. So remember, if you're juicing the orange, the fiber in the orange also has to be in there. I'm not saying the skins, but when you juice it out, what we tend to do is extract the juice, we strain and just use that thin, fine juice, right? But let the fiber from the orange also be there so that it is nutrient rich and also ideal. Okay. Have any of you all heard of the ABC juice? I've had a few seniors ask me about it, so I'm sure somebody from here would know. Have you all heard about the ABC juice?
Yes.
Can you tell me what it is?
Apple,
Apple,
banana,
beetroot, and carrot.
Very good. Okay. So
Very
how
hep
would you
seniors are
prepare
here.
this so-called apple and beetroot and carrot? How would you prepare it?
Put it to the juicer. Sorry. Put it to the
blender.
juicer.
Peel the beetroot, peel the carrot, okay? Peel the apple and then you put it through the mixer, okay? What are some benefits you think of the ABC juice, which is well known as?
Digestion.
Yes,
Iron.
very good.
Vitamin A.
Yes, okay, iron rich,
for eyes.
vitamin A, absolutely. Okay, all of these are excellent, especially for iron levels. In fact, they say somebody who's anemic or who has low iron levels and you don't have an issue with your blood sugars, then also beetroot, carrot together with some date included in it would also help. Or even pomegranate, beetroot and date can also work very well as an iron-rich drink. Okay, now when it comes to iron, I was talking, I'm sure I've said it to you all in the previous sessions, but all of us think spinach, palak, methi, shepu are rich in iron, right? Can you tell me one leafy vegetable which is the richest in iron as compared to all the others?
Drumstick leaves.
Yes, drumstick leaf.
Drumstick leaves. Oh.
Moringa.
Moringa.
Okay? Yes. So what you can also do is, why I'm mentioning about this is you can dry the drumstick leaves. Okay. You can powder it. And in case you want to make any of your juices, you can also incorporate a small teaspoon of that roasted moringa powder if you are watching your iron levels. Okay. But preferable to make it at home rather than buy the ready-made ones because we don't know what is really mixed in it, right? Okay. Then the next.
Used in cooked food?
Absolutely
Can
fine.
moringa powder be used in cooked food?
Definitely can be used. The only thing is once you've cooked it, add the powder. Don't cook the powder with your dish. Okay. So you can dry your seeds well, powder it. And then, just before your dish is getting ready or once it's ready, you can add that little moringa to it. But don't cook it for too long because then the nutrition is lost. Okay. So the next is ashgourd juice. I'm sure I spoke to you all about it the last time during gut health, right? What is the local term for ashgourd?
Guaro.
Kualo, very good. Okay, it's called Kualo in Konkani and Peta in Hindi. Okay, so how do we use this ashgod juice? How do we make this juice rather?
Juice.
Blender. Blender.
You cut a piece, okay, you can use one ashgod easily for up to 4 days also. You cut a piece, 1/4 piece of ashgod, get the skin out, get the seeds away, cut bits of it, it's like cucumber, right? So then you blend it in the mixer with some water. You strain and drink that juice on an empty stomach, okay? First thing in the morning, very important. Second thing is you have to have at least 1 to 1.5 hour of gap between that ashgod juice and your breakfast, because the whole role of ashgod is to cleanse and detoxify. Okay, for somebody who is having issues with acid reflux, somebody who's having issues with bloating, okay, ashgod works very well. The only little catch here is somebody with colds, regular colds and coughs and asthma, it may not be the best choice because ashgod is very cooling. So sometimes it can, catch your throat. So they say you can add a little pepper powder to it to neutralize the whole effect. But other than that, if you don't have issues with coughs and colds, then ashgod is an excellent juice. Like I said, it's a detoxifier and a cleanser that has to be taken early morning on an empty stomach. Keep at least an hour and a half of a gap between your juice and your breakfast. Okay, this is only holds good for ashgod. If you have any queries, you can always ask me. Okay, the next is watermelon juice. How do you make watermelon juice?
Just
Bits of watermelon.
again in the blender.
In
In the blender.
Do you all strain the watermelon once you all blend it in the mixer? Do you all strain it for the juice or do you all have it as it is?
As it is.
As it
is. As it is.
Very good. Okay. Now, watermelon again, it's excellent because high water content, so good for hydration and all of it. The only thing is if somebody is diabetic, then keep it on hold, because though watermelon is so healthy and good, it can shoot up the blood sugar levels. Okay. And that's why they say somebody who is diabetic, minimize on fruit juices. You can have vegetable juices. You can have the jeera, badi shape, ajwain, coriander, water, all of those. Okay, but somebody who's diabetic, please avoid fruit juices. Okay, you can have a whole fruit, but fruit juices. Now, why I'm saying this is because, for example, if you take an apple or an orange, okay, you eat one apple or one orange. But if you're going to make 1 glass of apple or orange juice, how many apples or oranges do you think you need?
3, 4. 2 or 3.
At least 3. Okay, so that much of extra sugar. So somebody who's non-diabetic, no problem at all. But somebody who's diabetic, please keep fruit juices on hold. You can go into vegetable juices and all the other juices that we will be discussing. Okay, so next is pomegranate juice. What do you all think? Pomegranate juice now obviously has to be strained, right? Because you can't really just blend it. Okay, but what is pomegranate juice good for? Any idea?
Increase your platelet
Especially
counts.
for women.
Increase your platelet counts.
Very good. Increasing platelet counts. Excellent. Then
Iron.
any skin
Iron.
inflammations. Okay.
For those
It
who
also
have
helps.
diarrhea.
Yes. Bowel
They
movement.
can-
Absolutely. Yes. That's why they say apple pomegranate juice. Okay. Helps. Good. Now some more options. Okay. Some combinations that you all can use to make some sort of smoothies. So we have carrot, apple, and ginger. Okay. Have any of you all tried any of these? So you can take a little bit of carrot, apple, ginger, blend it in the mixer, and you can get a nice carrot, apple, ginger juice. Okay. What are carrots rich in? Anyone can tell me?
Vitamin
Vitamin
A.
A.
Very
Vitamin
good.
A.
Carrots are a rich source of vitamin A. And what is the role of ginger?
Ginger.
Ginger's antioxidant.
Yes. But with the tummy and the gut, what does ginger work close to?
Digestion.
Digestion. Very good. Digestion. Okay. Ginger is excellent as a digestive. Okay. So, in fact, there was this patient some time back. She was in her 60s and she told me she had osteoarthritis. Okay. And I don't know if any of y'all have had witnessed people having osteoarthritis in the fingers. So she said she had this constant, kind of disfigurement of her fingers. And a doctor himself had asked her to try this. That is, take some turmeric, okay, fresh turmeric root, take an inch of ginger and some peppercorns and give it a good boil. And then take, 1 shot of this, add a little fresh lime and drink it on an empty stomach. Okay. And I actually saw this lady, her, that whole osteoarthritis of her hand rather improved after a couple of months. And I actually spoke to this doctor and said, do you think really this was more of a placebo? It really helped her? What could it really be? And he said, what is the term for turmeric? What is the scientific word? Anyone knows? What is turmeric also known as?
Curcumin.
Yes,
Curcumin.
curcumin. So we're saying curcumin, okay, has so many antibacterial, anti-inflammatory properties that could be actually one of the things that could have worked for this lady, because she did it without fail every single morning, okay, for like nearly 2.5 months. So over a period of time, it helped. So like I mentioned, ginger, okay, turmeric, fresh turmeric root though. And the most amusing part was it's not so easy to get fresh turmeric root, right? Unless we ask somebody fields and somebody who's growing. So I asked this lady, I said, where did you get fresh turmeric root? And she said, Amazon. So I was quite surprised to know that you get fresh turmeric root on Amazon as well. Okay, so turmeric, ginger, and peppercorn. So this way there are so many of these home remedies which, we just overlook, but they definitely do work. Okay, then you have beetroot, carrot, lemon juice that can also, kind of work as a good cleanser, detox with vitamins, minerals. Okay, so beetroot, carrot, and a little lemon juice. Then we have berries, like a mix of berries. Can you tell me some berries that we get here that we could combine to make a berry blast juice?
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Strawberries,
Blueberry.
very good. Then
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
yes, excellent. Then
Gooseberries.
Gooseberry.
very good, definitely. Okay, so we could use a berry mix. Okay, so that is one ideal thing. Now also when you said gooseberry, okay, when we have amla, there was another combination that another patient told me that worked well. Okay, so you take an amla, you take some fresh coriander and a small inch of ginger, and again blend it in the mixer, and you get this nice vitamin C rich, which is the rich source of, can you give me some good sources of vitamin C?
Amla.
Amla, yes.
The
Amla,
best.
oranges, sweet
Oranges.
Lemon.
Lemon.
yes, lemons, very good. Okay, so vitamin C is particularly important now during the rains to boost our immunity, right? From coughs and colds. Okay, then we also have pineapple and ginger juice. Sounds weird but tastes good. Okay, you can have a pineapple ginger juice combination where you make a pineapple juice. Obviously, pineapple is one that needs to be strained like pomegranate. Okay, and then you can add in a little bit of you crush ginger, extract a little juice, and add it to it. Okay, so these were just a mix of different juices. Now coming to the seasonal juices. Okay, so starting first from the season we've just ended, and now we are in the rains, but the summer season. So what juices rather have you all had during the summer? Can anyone tell me?
Mango.
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 Okay.
What are these? Berries.
Lemon juice.
Very good. Okay. You have a
Watermelon.
watermelon. Excellent. Yes, watermelon is superb during the summer. Okay, very cooling on the body. And also another point here is please stick to fruits and vegetables as per the season they are in. Okay. For example, during the summer, watermelon, okay, whether it's mangoes, these are the fruits that we need to have during the summers. But now, unfortunately, with so much of genetic modification, we have fruits available literally throughout the season, right? Okay, there are people who are eating mangoes even in September and October, and watermelons also, through the rains. So try to eat fruits as per the season they belong to. Okay, we also have mint and lemon cooler, okay, which tastes really nice. So, mint and lemon always works well together, right? Okay, so it helps with digestion, vitamin C, then watermelon. Now, what can we add
Mint
during
and
the
lemon.
summer? Okay, if we are having watermelon juice, if we are having lemon and mint juice, if we are having an orange juice, what do you think we can add to this juice to still cool down our bodies further and include some fiber into it? Can anyone tell me?
Add sabja. Sabja seeds.
Very excellent. Add
basil.
some saffron or chia seeds.
Chia
Okay.
seeds.
Thing is, chia is completely different. Sabja are basil seeds. Okay, they all come from the same family. All right. So you can olive is also another variety which is called garden cress or halim seeds. So anyway, but sabja is the most common tukmiria that we call in local Goan terms, right? So if you can take a teaspoon of sabja, the only one important point here is sabja or chia seeds have to be soaked for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Ideal would be an hour before you incorporate it into your juice. Okay, because if you want to just consume it, you can't just immediately. It has to be soaked and then added. Okay, so that would be another refreshing drink. Okay, I was waiting to hear about kokum sharbat.
Kokum. I wanted to ask.
Kokum,
Yes. Kokum. Kokum, yes.
Also called brindam, right? So you make this lovely kokum drink where if you can, I mean, we get a lot of these ready-made kokum squashes, which to be honest are not ideal because most of them are loaded with sugar and preservatives. But if you can get a naturally made kokum, drink would be excellent where they actually kind of take it. I think the only tricky part is putting it through muslin cloth and extracting the juice. Okay, and using it, but kokum is an excellent drink. One, it can be made into a sweet squash. The second is, what else can be made with kokum?
Soul curry.
Soul curry.
Soul curry.
Curry.
Okay, which is also an excellent digestive. Anyone can tell me how do you make soul curry? I know some people make it at home.
Coconut juice.
Soak a few kokums.
Yes.
Add a little garlic and coriander, and
Excellent.
if you like, a little green chili and
Very
salt.
good.
Yeah. And if you want it, you can
Excellent.
add a little coconut juice.
Yes, so you can either use it with plain water or you can use it with coconut juice, either one. In the restaurants, mostly they tend to give us the one with the coconut juice, but you can also use it with plain water. Okay. Yes, so those were the main summer drinks. Now coming to the winters. Okay. So what is one drink that everyone says we want to drink during the winters to keep the body warm and avoid coughs and colds? Something to do with milk. Any idea?
Haldi milk.
Sorry?
Turmeric milk.
Haldi
Yes.
milk.
Haldi milk. Very good. Okay, so haldi milk. So how do we prepare haldi milk?
We
Just
boil
add
it
it to warm milk.
You add a pinch of haldi powder.
Sugar.
Now again, with haldi powder, see that it is proper genuine haldi because a lot of times these ready-made powders tend to have additives and all sorts of things added to them. So if you can get a good farm turmeric powder, okay, would be good, which you can incorporate into your haldi milk. Okay. You can also have a carrot, ginger, and orange juice that can be used in the winters. Okay, carrot, ginger, and orange. So like we said, carrot is rich in vitamin A. Ginger is also good as a digestive. And what do oranges produce? I mean, provide?
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C. Very good. Then many people tell me we want our chai. We can't do without our morning and evening chai in the winters, right? So what is, and how can we boost our immunity with this garam chai?
Ginger.
Ginger chai.
Ginger, yeah.
Cardamom.
Yes.
Mint also.
Tulsi.
Excellent.
Lemongrass.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes, so you can use cardamom, you can use ginger, you can use lemongrass, so many different spices, okay, that can also help with, coughs and colds that crop up during that time, okay. Very, very important is reading the nutritional label of products or juices that you purchase. Do all of you read your nutritional labels if you tend to buy juices?
Yes.
Okay, someone say yes,
Yes.
no. Okay. Now, in fact, since I knew I was specifically talking about juices today, when I went to the supermarket in the morning, I actually was checking for different brands and different juices. Okay. And I realized that there's not a single juice that I saw on the shelf that actually had,
Juice.
at least 60% of fruit and less. It was all less than 60%. So it was, if you know a juice that has, the ingredients mentioned, if it starts with sugar plus, whatever, orange plus so and so plus so and so, Anything, I've mentioned this in the last session. Anyone remembers what did I tell you about the first 3 ingredients in the nutritional label that is of the
Apple,
product?
banana, and apple,
More-
banana, and carrot.
Mostly
What I mean
that.
to say is,
That's the most ingredient.
Yeah.
yes, correct. The first 3 ingredients that are mentioned on any nutritional label are the ones that are the highest in that particular item. Okay. So if you know a product starts with sugar, water, whatever, this juice, 5% of this juice, you know that sugar and water are the main ingredients in that bottle, correct? So on the external, we see fresh orange juice, fresh mango juice, Alfonso juice, okay? There may be like 5% of Alfonso in that juice, correct? So we have to be aware that, you know, I mean, we have to read the nutritional label of the product. So if you know there are these so-called, you know, emulsifiers and acidity regulators, so many different things, it's rather doing more harm than good, right? So if you can prepare this fresh fruit juice yourself, nothing like it. So that was with regards to the type of juices. And when I mentioned about one takeaway gut healthy juice that I'm going to ask you all to prepare, and once you prepare, please share some pics with me, is about, have you heard this term called ginger bug?
What?
Have you heard the term called ginger bug?
Ginger.
Ginger bug.
Bug.
Okay. You can
Ginger
take this
bug.
down because
Yes.
this is the thing that is not in the presentation. If you can please note down ginger bug. Ginger, Ginger,
Ginger
B-U-G.
B-U-G.
bug.
Bug.
Yes.
Bug.
Yes. Now, what is this so-called ginger bug? Okay, ginger bug is basically a starter culture. Okay, it's a starter culture that helps to ferment foods. Okay, drinks rather. It's used to ferment drinks. Now, how do we incorporate this? Do all of you like limbu soda, fruit sodas? Yes, I'm sure everyone's hand will come up, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this started because my kids love limbu soda. Okay, they love all sorts of aerated drinks, and that soda somehow gives us that kick, right? But now what happened is these sodas, I'm not like those strict nutritionist moms or anything. I mean, I let them have everything in moderation, and I believe we live life once, so we have everything. You know, we don't have to avoid anything. But yes, sometimes, you know, if we can incorporate something that's healthy, why not, right? So now, what is this ginger bug? It's basically helping to ferment, right? So you can get a lot of recipes online, but I'll tell you the whole thing of what it is. So you basically have to take 1 tablespoon of finely chopped ginger, okay, or rather grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of sugar. So you can also do 2 tablespoons of ginger and 2 tablespoons of sugar. It's basically a 1:1 proportion, okay, with 2 cups of water that you will sleep. This ginger has to be unpeeled. So you put it in water and let it, you know, kind of ferment. Now, how do you let it ferment? You have to put it in a glass jar. Okay, put it in a glass jar and see that it has a little muslin cloth. It has to breathe, right? We don't want to kill the bug that we are going to be feeding. So you have a thin little muslin cloth with a rubber band that you can tie around that jar. So don't completely close it, okay, so that nothing enters in. So basically what you do is put 2 cups of water, if you're putting 2 tablespoons of grated ginger, 2 tablespoons of sugar, okay, mix it well, put this muslin cloth, leave it overnight. Now the next day you have to feed this bug, okay, like a little baby. So what you need to do is every day for the next 5 days, you need to feed it 1 tablespoon of ginger, grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay, again, whisk it well. What you will notice by day 3, okay, and by day 4 and by day 5, you will notice you're getting a whole bubbly fermentation happening, right? So that is your starter culture. Now, what you do is you take 50 ml, or they say 1/4 cup of this starter culture, okay, and you mix it with a liter of any juice. You want to put orange juice, you want to put whatever, pomegranate juice, you want to put lemon juice, whatever you can. If you're putting lemon, you'll have to kind of add water to it, right? So you can add orange and water and dilute this. So you add this 1 liter of juice with 50 ml, rather 1/4 cup of that starter culture, and then you leave it overnight for maybe a day, okay, a day or two, and you will notice by the end of that day or two, you've got a nice fruit soda, okay, that you can put into, so you can use different fruits. It's very interesting. Give it a try. And like I said, don't forget to share a pic with me. Okay. Or, so you can, so now what is the benefit of this whole ginger bug thing? Okay. It's basically a probiotic. Okay. It's so full with this so-called bug that we are feeding like a baby, has all the good bacteria, right? It has a lot of lactobacilli in it, which is good for our, anyone can tell me? Gut, yes. Okay, so the stomach, intestine, colon, it's good for our gut. So we're rather helping our gut with good bacteria. And then you can put different, sorts of fruits and things and do it. So I remember in one session, I was talking to you all about kombucha, right? Have you all heard of the term kombucha?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So
My daughter makes it.
kombucha is also something similar where they have a starter culture, which is the SCOBY. Okay, the SCOBY, but for kombucha, you already have a starter culture, which you have to get it from somebody who makes it. Okay, so you get the starter culture and then they make a black tea. So they make the black tea and the sugar. And again, they add the starter culture and you have to feed it every day. And then, you can incorporate it. Now, my first question when, I'm sure many of you all thought also is I mentioned feed it with 1 tablespoon of ginger, 1 tablespoon of sugar. So you're going to think every day for 5 days, how much of sugar is going to go in, right? But that sugar is not going to be consumed by you. Who is going to consume that sugar?
The bacteria.
Yes, the bacteria. So that sugar is going to be food for the bacteria. So you could realize at the end of 5 days, when you get that starter, it's not really going to be sweet because the bacteria is feeding the sugar. The sugar is not going to go into your body. Okay. So now the only thing is there are 2 ways of keeping this bacteria alive. One is when you keep feeding it, but what is going to happen when you keep feeding it is you're going to have jars and jars of the ginger bug, right? It's not going to know what to do with. Or the second option is you can keep this bug in the fridge because that will slow down fermentation. And then what you need to do is once a week, you get this jar out. Okay. Keep it till it gets to room temperature. Feed it a tablespoon of ginger and sugar. Okay, keep it out for a while. And then you put it back in the fridge. So once a week only you need to feed it if it is in the refrigerator. But if it is out, to let it stay alive, you have to feed it on an everyday basis. Okay, so that's how the ginger bug works. And you can do it with different fruits. Okay, you can add it to different juices. So you can make like a mix of a fresh juice with, also if you want to add water to it and then incorporate, you can do it your way. Okay, but the whole thing here is to create that effervescence of the soda feel. You need to prepare the ginger bug. Okay.
Can I ask something?
Yes, please go ahead.
When you add it to the fruit juice, you have to immediately consume it?
No, you have to keep it for at least 1 day, they say, 1 day overnight to let it ferment with the juice.
Juice.
Okay,
And
so
after that,
that's when the bacteria are going to be prepared. I mean, going to be kind of working on, right? So you keep it at least 1 night. If you're not, but again, another very important point is when you feed this, you add this 1/4 cup of 50 ml of this ginger bug with your 1 liter. Remember not to fill your drink to the brim, okay? Because what's going to happen the next day is you're going to have an explosion because obviously it's going to ferment. So they say fill it only around 1/2 to 3/4 and do not keep it airtight. I mean, don't close it completely. How we did the muslin, but kind of like they have those bottle with the corks, those things to kind of let it breathe a bit. Okay, but let it breathe a bit so that it actually ferments. So when you open it up, if you fill it 1/2 to 3/4, it will come up, but it won't get out of the bottle. Okay, so don't fill it full. That's another important.
Can we keep this juice in the fridge and have it? Or we have to consume it immediately?
Yes. So like they say, once you mix it up, once it's ready to drink, you mean, yes, you can keep it in the fridge a couple of days, not a problem. Okay. But the only thing is once you put it in the fridge, the good thing is the fermentation will stop, right? Because of the cold temperatures. But you can easily keep it and keep it in standing position. It will last in the fridge some days, no problem. Okay, but I think if you prepare a bottle or so, you might end up consuming it soon as well. It depends on the proportion that you prepare. But as and when you kind of do it, you will keep experimenting, you will keep learning. So don't worry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nina, for how long can you use this? Even keeping it in the fridge and taking it out?
Okay, good question, because I was also trying to read up on that, and somebody gave a kind of an update on using it for the last 6 months. Okay, but then religiously she would feed it once a week. Once a week, bring it out, keep it at room temperature, feed it 1 tablespoon of the ginger and sugar, put it back in. Okay,
Escape the
so
ginger, treat and add water.
yes, so you can do it for months together. The whole aim is how you look after it. And by any chance, if it has gone off and you can't use it, you can always prepare a fresh one. So that's why I think, the 1 tablespoon makes more sense to start off with, right? 1 tablespoon with 2 cups of water. So, you don't have a very big batch. Otherwise, you'll keep getting so much of that ginger bug unless you can keep sharing it with everyone else. Okay, yes. So with that, I'd like to say thank you. This is with regards to the presentation. Open to your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nina, for that.
Okay, can I ask you something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Now, all these juices you have mentioned, say the green juice, for instance, what
Yes.
would be a good quantity to have? Should you have a full glass of it or half a glass of it? Because it's all raw vegetables.
Correct. Good question again. If you're having any of these juices, I would say the 150 ml ideally is an ideal portion, but 150 to 200 ml, don't exceed more than that. Okay, 150 to 200 ml. The second thing is, if you noticed, I've not mentioned spinach anywhere. Okay, but in many of the juices, spinach is one of the main ingredients in a green juice. The first reason is because spinach obviously has rich in oxalates. Okay, there have been cases where people have been loading themselves on green spinach juice and have had kidney stones because the body can't take it. So when we say raw foods, also, like for example, celery, or you're mixing, like if you notice, we've said, cucumber, apple, we're mixing fruit and veggies so that not to have an overload. So up to 150, and anyway, you're putting some water into it, right? So 150 to 200 ml, not more than that.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions?
And somebody said even bottle gourd juice is good. But then I've heard of a case where it has become toxic.
Yes.
So
I never ever recommend bottle gourd juice to anybody. Okay. The reason why is because there was this incident where 3 people actually lost their lives, right? With bottle gourd.
Yes.
The reason with a bottle gourd, the tricky part is that, it shouldn't be bitter. There is some sort of compounds produced, which they say it has to be that proper, but none of us are, so well versed with identifying whether that bottle gourd is good or not, right? So bottle gourd, please see that it is cooked and used as a vegetable. It's used, into soups, excellent. But please avoid having raw bottle gourd juice. Ash gourd, on the other hand, like we spoke about, is extremely safe. We've not had any problem with ash gourd. And if you can get the locally available ash gourd, nothing like it. Okay, but I've been told that the main season, I think, is between December to April, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you all would be able to also check, but December to April, because right now also I've been trying to find out, but not been getting any locally available ones. But then the also good thing with ash gourd is, it seems I've had clients told me that it has remained for like 7-8 months without touching. Okay, I think also a year, she was saying it lasts for a year outside. So it has a very good shelf life. But I always try to look out for people who have locally available ones, because there is always somebody or other who needs it. So, but earlier they used to say, sorry, yes.
I don't know what's the reason, but I've seen in Karnataka, many places, they hang this in the rooms. They hang it from the roof and it is just left there. I don't know what is this. I've asked many of them. They say it's good. It's good. They say.
I don't know what is
They hang it just.
Approximately 15 million.
That their way of keeping it long term, or what? Of hanging it, or is some religious purpose of hanging it? Because I know they use ash gourd and all when it's for Chaturthi and those times. On the matto, they use ash gourd, but hanging it from the roof, interesting to know, nice to know why they would do
Not
it.
from the roof, from the ceiling. So I
From the
don't
ceiling.
know what is the benefit. And I've seen even aloe vera also, they do that. I've seen it in Karnataka. I've seen. So I've asked them, they say it's just a religious custom, but I'm sure there should be some benefit an old custom.
Correct. Like if you notice in the our old Goan homes, they would always, dry, those local onions, they'll be hanging. Yeah. So that is also hanging all those local onions. In fact, that's another thing, with coughs and colds. I don't know how you all have used it, but I think it really works well where you chop the onion, okay, add some sugar to it and leave it for a while, and then that juice that comes is supposed to be excellent for coughs.
It's very
yes, I have used
effective.
it.
I've tried it. I used to try
Even
it.
I have tried it. It's very effective.
Very effective, yeah.
Yes, it does work. So that's
And
another
many of
remedy.
these fruit juices say no added preservatives. What does that mean?
Yes. So now the thing is to keep any fruit juice, first and foremost, like I said, is there's always a very small percentage of the fruit. It's all water and sugar, and then they need to let this stay for minimum 6 to 8 months, right? Now, how do they do this? Is they have to add, whether it's potassium metabisulfate, okay, whether it is so many sort of additives, acidity regulators, besides citric acid. So there are so many chemicals loaded into it. Okay, that which I mean, if you have any of these juices once in a while, like there are sometimes we have functions or we have meets and we can't avoid it, right? You can't sit and make a fresh juice for like a whole big group of people. It's not practical. So then you have a juice once in a while, a Tetra Pak and all, no problem. If you're going out for an occasion or function, no problem. But sometimes there are people who are consuming this juice. Like there was a lady who was giving this real fruit box, okay, this juice for a child on a daily basis, saying that no, also this Tropicana, it's 100% apple, whatever. Okay, it's 100%. Have you all seen those? Yeah.
Yes,
So she would
yes.
give her child this juice every single day, saying that she's having fresh, she's having fruit juice, 100% fruit juice. Unfortunately, there is no 100% fruit juice in those. Okay, so we are rather causing more harm than good. So any of these juices in moderation is absolutely fine, but on a daily basis is where the challenge comes. Okay.
Nina,
Yes.
watermelon juice, do you use the seeds too?
No. Get off the seeds.
Okay.
Cut bits. Ideally, if you can cut pieces of watermelon, blend it up and then drink it.
And pomegranate seeds?
Pomegranate, you will have to strain. So we said pomegranate and pineapple are two fruits that have to strain. I mean, otherwise it can cause irritation in the throats, no? So pomegranate and pineapple, you can strain, no problem.
But tell me about that ABC juice you said.
Yes.
If you want to keep a little quantity in the fridge, like what would be 1 apple to 1 beetroot to 1 carrot?
Yes, it's a 1:1.
And how long can you keep it in the fridge if you want to keep it for a few days?
Yes. Now, for any of these juices that we have mentioned, if you want to get the 100% benefit of the nutrients and the vitamins, you have to have it fresh or at least in those few hours. Okay, because as soon as we are going to keep it in the fridge, obviously the nutrient content, once you break down a product, okay, we blend it, right? We've already, it's already broken down and the nutrient content will keep diminishing if we keep it. I know it's so practical to just push it in the fridge and leave it there for a couple of days. Okay, so it's not like you get zero nutrition, but you won't get the whole nutrition. So any sort of juice you are preparing, preferable to see that it is consumed on the same day.
And this cucumber juice that you were speaking about, is it better to make a juice or is it better to just have the full cucumber?
So now what you could do is, it depends on if it's the smaller cucumbers, like the local ones, you get those cute small ones, those are better. If it's a whole big cucumber, preferable to use half, because otherwise it'll be really thick also. Another thing is, you want it to be drinking consistency, So if it's the smaller ones, you can use a whole one, else half.
How do you do the orange juice? We have to include the pit, right? So how would you juice if you want to make orange juice?
Yes.
How would you do
so
that?
With orange juice, now what I usually do is that you see those, like I was talking about, now you get these cold pressed juices. Okay, what is the cold press? Is they're supposed to extract most of the actual orange come up. Okay, but if you see most of the juices, they, you put the orange and it's extracting the juice and all that fiber remains, So like what I do right now is, I know it's time consuming. You just, kind of clean up the orange and let whatever is coming out and leave the whole skin part. So at least you get the fiber into it, right? You get a lot of juice. But which oranges are best to use are those, do you call them Malta? Those whole round orange ones?
Yes.
juice ones, because in all the shops they call it the juice oranges. Okay, so I think it's the Malta variety, right? So those are the best for juicing. The other ones, preferable, please don't juice because they're best eaten as it is, and you will waste most of it by juicing. So only stick to the juice oranges. Okay, so yes.
Nina, what I was asking about the cucumber is it better to eat the raw cucumber or is it better to juice it?
Okay, so again, cucumber, as long as it's peeled, it's absolutely safe. Okay, but if you are juicing it, again, if it depends on your proportion, you can definitely just peel it, cut it into bits, and put it through the blender. Works very well, not a problem. But the only thing, like I said, is if it's those bigger cucumbers, please don't use the whole one. It gets really thick and horrible. So if it's the smaller ones, else just use 1/4 to half piece. Cut it, peel it, cut it into small bits, put it into the blender with your other, like if you're using a little bit of ginger or lemon or orange or whatever other fruit you're blending it with.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was told, sorry, I was told that spinach is, to juice it, it's not safe because, sometimes spinach
Yes, that's
is grown.
exactly correct. That's exactly why I mentioned that not in a single of the juices that I have mentioned spinach to be used, because we have seen cases of people overdoing spinach, and we said it is rich in oxalates, right? So oxalates, excess of oxalates in the body that are not utilized can cause what?
Kidney stones, you said.
Stones. Okay. So that's why they say if you are using spinach, the best way is to blanch it. Okay, because when you blanch it, when there's heat, the oxalate is destroyed. So using spinach as a bhaji, as a vegetable, into a soup is excellent. It's very healthy and rich in iron and good, but cook it. Okay. So what you want to do is, if you really want to try, I don't think again the taste will be the best, but you'll have to put it into how you blanches it, put it into hot water, throughout the water. Okay, leach it out and then you can puree. But I don't think in a blending juice it would taste good. No, best way would be probably use it into a soup, or some people into chapatis. Now there are many people who try this. They include some veggies when the kids don't eat anything. Okay, so you add some veggies, pressure cook it, puree it, and knead your atta with that. Okay, I've not really had the guts to try it at home because I might have to be the only one who has to sit and eat it. But yes, but some people say it works very well and you can't really make out the taste because the atta overpowers it. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, Nina, what is the best?
I lost you, Maria, in between. What were you saying?
Unmute.
The best juice for diabetics if somebody is having diabetic.
Okay. So like we mentioned, okay, when it comes to diabetes, like I said, is please keep the fruit completely out, okay? Because the fructose, which is in the fruit, is going to be troubling the already, high sugars. So fruit is out. You can have a whole fruit, not a problem, but juicing fruits is completely out. So you can look in terms of how we said now this amla, coriander, that is one thing that we said. The next is these things of your lemon mint, okay, or lime you can definitely use, not a problem. So lemon mint. Then have you heard of these paneer full seeds? Anyone has heard of
paneer doda?
Yes, paneer doda.
Paneer doda.
Yes. Okay, so you get it in the Panjim market, those masala shops. So as you enter the Panjim market to the right, I think there are some third or fourth shop. They usually, so they have these paneer full seeds. So it's excellent with sugars because it helps with the carbohydrate metabolism. So how do you use it? Is you take around 7 of those paneer full seeds, soak it in a cup of water overnight, press out the seeds and drink the water on an empty stomach. Okay, so that is one thing. So your lemon mint, like we said, that is one aspect. Sabja you can add to it, obviously. Okay, if you are adding something like a celery, cucumber, ginger, that's another thing. So actually for diabetics, all these veggies that juice are the low veggies. But there's one important point here. Please do not use carrot juice if you are diabetic, because carrot by itself as a veggie is excellent, but carrot juice is high in sugars. Okay, so just carrot and fruit, and other than that, all the juices that we've mentioned, nothing will trouble. And yes, another very important one, which are the only 2 vegetables a diabetic should minimize? Can anyone tell me?
Beetroot and Carrot, maybe? I don't know.
Potato and beetroot, not too much. Okay, not too much of potato and beetroot because they tend to have a little higher glycemic index. In fact, it's like we've said, sweet potato is much lower in sugar than potato. Okay, so potato and beetroot, but other than that, all the other veggies have
What
no
about
problem with
yam?
regards to your.
What about yam?
What about yam? Okay, so again, any root veggies tend to have a high carb content, no? Compared, again, yam tends to be a little less than, but whether it is any form of root vegetable, the carbohydrate content is higher than the other vegetables. Okay?
Thank you, Nina.
Yes. Any other questions?
No, one thing regarding the ginger bark, if you don't do it properly, you can get the wrong parasite, isn't it?
Yes. So when it comes to fermentation, if you're going to follow the proportion right, yes, definitely. Now, if you're going to see, when you will know that it is right is when it's fermenting and bubbling well, right? Now, if it turns dark in nature, it looks weird, it's kind of smelling weird, please don't use it. Okay, so you have to use your proportion rights. And if one day you've forgotten to feed it, another 2 days you've left it, please don't use it again. What she says is absolutely right. You have to do it only when you know that you can put your focus. It's like literally looking after a kid, So every day you have that responsibility. Okay, so if you think it's not possible, then you might as well not do it. Or the other thing is one person can probably take charge of doing it and sharing with all of us. Okay.
And you the ginger bark ferment.
Sorry, I'm losing you.
To
Yeah.
the ginger bark fermentation.
Sorry, can you just repeat? It's just fumbling. Yeah, can you just repeat?
I think I don't have connectivity properly.
Yeah.
Can be consumed by a diabetic. The ginger bark fermentation.
I lost this.
She's
Yes,
asking
so,
whether a diabetic person can consume the ginger bug.
Yes, definitely. Now, again, a good question. A diabetic person can consume the ginger bark, but won't really work well for a diabetic because you have to put it with a juice, right? I mean, it really won't work well with. Now, there are some people who prepare ginger beer using the ginger bark. Okay, that's another thing. But most of the, like what I'm talking is of the fruit sodas will need fruit juice, so it won't work well in veggies with veggies. So it will be a fruit juice, right? So maybe if you can just taste it, because the ginger bark by itself is low in sugar because the sugar is being fed by the bacteria. But yeah, but the thing is, the juice comes into picture, which may not be a great option for a diabetic. Because then again, what I've realized is when you use the fresh orange juice, if you want to make a bigger quantity, you're going to put in some water and then you'll have to add some sugar, right? To give it that whole flavor. So may not be a great option there. Like also, for example, kombucha, okay, it does have a very 0.% because of the fermentation, but then again, the sugar content comes in, right? Because when it's similar like wines. No, so when we are fermenting it, but obviously there's sugar that goes into, like, there are some diabetics who have jambul wine to reduce their blood sugars. Please don't do that, okay? Because the jambuls as a fruit may be good, because of its low glycemic index, it's excellent, but a jambul wine is definitely going to have sugar in it. So, yes, but again, if your sugars are well in control, moderation is the key. You can enjoy everything in moderate amounts.
But ginger bark is the only effect, or does it have some merits on its own?
Points. One is obviously it's going to give you the aerated effect. The second thing is, what did I mention? What is the purpose of fermentation? For us, it's getting the fix, but
gut health.
Probiotics, that is the important word here. Okay, so the good bacteria is what is going to help with the whole, help enhance the gut health. Okay, for gut health. So the probiotics. So similarly, like how you have curd, dahi, buttermilk, lactobacilli, right? So you have good bacteria. So your curd, buttermilk, idli, dosas, appam, sannas, okay, kombucha. All of these, whether it's the ginger, all of these are good bacteria which are good for the gut. So like I mentioned last time to you all, these are probiotics. And what are the
Prebiotic.
Sugar.
Sugar.
No. Now here we are preparing this externally, so we have to feed it sugar. But in our system, okay, in our stomach, we cannot ingest that much of sugar to feed it, right? So what are the prebiotics?
Yogurt.
Fruits, vegetables. Okay, so whether you have onions, garlic, whether you have the skin of the apple, for example, the skin of the apple, okay, cannot be digested by our bodies, but it works as an excellent food for those organisms in our bodies. Okay, so anything that is non-digestible. So that's why if you notice, they say fibers. Fibers are so good for the gut, right? Because fiber feeds the bacteria. So now what happens is we have good bacteria in our gut and we have bad bacteria. If there's somebody who's constantly falling ill, coughs, colds, fevers, this, that, constantly falling ill, what is happening is the bad bacteria are taking over, right? So what we're trying to do is have more good bacteria so they can fight these bad bacteria in our gut, okay? Another important thing is please use antibiotics only under the prescription of your doctor. Your doctor will know when he has to prescribe it. But many people, as soon as we get a slight irritation of a throat or a nose, we immediately run to the pharmacy. Can you give me Azil 500? Or can you give me, right? So we immediately self-medicate ourselves. But what happens is if you self-medicate with an antibiotic, first and foremost, if it is a common cold or if it's a common flu, okay, it's caused by a virus. Will the antibiotic kill the virus?
No.
No.
What do antibiotics kill?
Bacteria.
Bacteria.
Exactly. Okay. So if it's a common cold, okay, because of the rains, the weather, you just try a local this casa, this kadakasai that people, boil all these herbs or this ginger thing or this turmeric, all these things. Because irrespective, even if you take an antibiotic, it will take 4 to 5 days for your, for you to feel better. Right? If you take an antibiotic over the counter without necessary, then what's going to, without being needed, what's going to happen is it's going to take you 3 weeks for your gut to actually recover from all that damage caused by the antibiotic, because the antibiotic not only kills the bad bacteria, it also kills the bacteria. Okay, so that is why don't take antibiotics until and unless you need it and it is prescribed to you. Yes, any other questions?
For ginger bug and sugar, how much water do we add?
Yes, so it's 1 tablespoon and 2 cups of water, they say. Okay, but I would also suggest you check out first before you start this, read it up online. You have different explanations. There are people showing videos. There are such interesting things where you can actually get educated in a better way. Okay, but otherwise, it's some recipes say 2 tablespoons and 2.5 cups water. Some say 1 and 2 cups of water. Okay, but you have to shake it vigorously. And another thing very important is don't close it airtight because you will kill the bacteria. You have to put a muslin and a rubber band because it has to breathe, and keep it away from sunlight.
And do we add water every time we add?
No. You don't keep adding water, but you have to add ginger and sugar. So when you add the ginger and sugar, the bug is going to keep feeding on that sugar that you add.
Mama, did you take the garlic and onion?
Yes. Any other questions?
I think everyone's
Lime soda, is it
enlightened.
okay? Fresh lime soda?
Okay.
Okay.
I think, yes.
So everyone, 1 minute. Yeah. So I'll just like to say thank you, Nina, for joining us again this today. We are a good crowd of 50 magicians here. I'm waiting to try out the different juices that we have maybe for the next physical sessions. Everybody comes with juices for the physical sessions, and I get to sip on everybody's flask. So hopefully that happens. Thank you again. So, dearest magicians, we'll be sharing the presentation with all the recipes. Yeah, with all the recipes in it. It does not have the ginger bug, right, Nina?
No, it doesn't have the ginger bug because
Yeah.
Just a takeaway that you can check out on, and we
Yeah.
can always try. We can actually have a session with him, but then you need to prepare it in future. But we can always do something with it. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was just to educate you all on what are the different things that can be made.
Roger.
Okay.
Yeah, I think now we have to assign for the next physical session. We have to have everybody has to, who's going to do ABC juice, who's going to do the green juice. Everybody has to put up their hands, and then we'll test it out then. Yeah. So Nina, you're invited for next time's physical session, right? For checking everybody's juice flask that they bring.
And I shall keep myself free.
Cheers. Anyway, thank you, Nina. Thank you, magicians. All the very best. Keep sipping on sunshine. I think we need some sunshine, right? It's been I've been in Goa now for the last 2 days. We were out of station for a week, but these last 2 days I haven't seen the sun only in Goa over here. So I think we need to make our own sort of sunshine, and I'm sure these kind of juices will actually give us a boost and make us happy. Cheers, everybody. Thank you, Nina, once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheldon, and thank you each of you for being such an
you.
interactive audience, and all the very best. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Our ginger bug will add the fizz to life. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sheldon. Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
Nina, thanks.
Thanks, Sheldon also.
Yes.
For once, a bug that doesn't irritate us.
No, it was good today. It's like everything went well. Yeah.
Yes, it is really good.
Good, yeah.
Cheers, everyone. I'm ending the session, okay?
Yes.
Okay, bye.